Hi sweeties, welcome back. It's time for my June garden tour. You guys, I am so excited. The dogs are excited. I'm starting from the inside so we can go straight out. Piper is eager to go. She's ready, so let's just jump into it. Remember, I am a townhome owner and I don't know everything about gardening. I just try to educate myself as much as possible, and I will try to tell you all the names of my flowers. Come on, Chopkin. My older dog, Choppy, is coming. Come on, honey, let's go. Good boy. Yes, good boy. So, we'll get right on into it. So, this is a new balloon I got this year. I love it. It's bigger than my one that I had last year. And it moves constantly. It's a battery operated little motor, so it will move and you can turn it off. Oh, this is really kind of dark. You can't see my hanging flower. You guys know I always have a hanging flower up there. And this year, since some of my dogwood bush is dying on me, it looks lush down there, but it's actually thinning out. Let me step back so you guys can see. It's actually thinning out a little bit. It may be kind of hard to see, so I've cut back some of the dead branches. And so in this little shaded area, I've planted some hostas. And there's a little Patriot hosta. Oh, and I can't remember what that one's called. You know, you get all these things, and you know them at the time. I want to say it's a Big Daddy, but I could be very wrong. And they're already blooming. And I really do not care about the blooms on my hostas. I just like that big, pretty foliage. And then I planted some lamb's ear. And these are a smaller type, but I think they said fuzzy wuzzies. So that is in my shaded area. And so then that's the rest of my garden, but we just can't see it very well. It's really overgrown since we've had such a hot summer. Okay, so now I'm going to turn around so you guys can see my porch. And there's Chopkin. That is his favorite spot. That's where he likes to look for his squirrels. And you guys know I have a thing for my Super Tunia Vista bubblegums. That's just 2 plants in that urn. That's all that is. And then up on my little table is another plant. And my granddaughter picked out this mint, and I think it's an Indian mint. And the reason I have to have this tray on this table, because I have a little ground squirrel that gets in my pot here and digs all the soil out. He has been digging like crazy. Bratty little thing. Okay, let's go around. So I'm going to quick do a pan of my yard. And it is very shaded. And that's just a quick overview so you guys can see, and then we'll go through everything. Now, I'm going to back up. And I don't know if any of you know, but I'm going to build a berm in my yard. So I sectioned off, I took my hose and I made a design, and then I took a little tool and dug it into the ground, and that's my shape. Right there. And this area always has a hard time with runoff in the summer, and the dirt never seems to stay, or the grass, because it always runs off. So I'm going to build a berm, and I have all my supplies, and I'm going to build this area up, and I have some plants all ready to go into my berm. I have a tiny wine 9-bark. I love these. They have such beautiful foliage, and this will be a perfect spot for it to get full sun. And then I have a giant lamb's ear. I'm so excited to get that in the ground. It's a huge, beautiful one. And then over here I have some sedum. Really pretty Angelina stone crop sedum. Or succulent. Okay, now, so a lot of things will move once I get this berm built up. But for now, for a couple days, this is what my yard looks like. So as you know, I have my sedum back here. I've just planted and they're having a hard time because the summer has been so dang hot. Some Carl Forster tall grass, and it really hasn't put on much in the last couple weeks because it's been so hot. And then I have another sedum here. I have little chicks down here in a pot that is going to go into the new berm that I have built. And then you guys know I have my Russian sage. And you know, this is an older variety. I wish I would have got denim and lace, which is smaller. This gets huge, you guys. Absolutely huge. And before the summer's over, it's always like flopping and wilting, and I never water it. And it only flops or wilts when it gets too much water, so whatever water it gets from rain. Otherwise, this thing can handle a good drought. I never ever water it. It may get water from the other plants that I'm giving, but I never water it. Okay, we're going to move on over here. And I have a little bitty Hosta. That's just a small one. It's already blooming. And I have put in some Salvia. I think this is a, oh, what variety is this? You guys, I am really terrible this time. And I know what it is, but I've already cut this back. And so it actually had very good coloring on it, but then it came and it rained. And it took all the beautiful colors off. Or all the beautiful petals off. As you can see, they're all over the leaves. But I did cut this down and it came back. Here's my Astilbe. It's coming in. It's huge this year. I must be doing something right with this Astilbe because it is miraculously huge. And then I bought two more, I'm going to back up, Carl Forster grasses right here. Now these two have gotten taller. These two are doing great. And I have to put that little, I don't know what you call it, like a little, it just holds up things because, like I said, it had been so hot no matter how much I watered these guys. You know, I've just planted these this year and they weren't doing too great. They are doing great now, but since it had been so hot, they weren't doing very well. But they're doing great now. And then against my central air wall, I have my hostas. And you know, the grass has been terrible. So I didn't mow just because we're trying to let it stay green. And you can see there is some brown spots. But I did plant some real pretty flowers underneath the hosta. Little snow princesses down there. And some more flowers. They're very hard to see, you guys. But, you know, the more you cut your grass when it's this hot, the browner it gets. And otherwise you have to run your sprinkler constantly. Now look at my strawberry vanilla. You remember this is a bush. It's in a pot. Can you guys see that? It's in that beautiful pot. And look at how huge. Just look at how huge it is. This thing is taller than me. And I believe it's almost 5 feet wide. It looks like a magnificent tree in my yard, and I love it. I used to have this up front with the other strawberry vanilla, but I decided to put it in the yard. It fits the space much better. And above the hostas, I have a window box, you guys, and I put some cabbage in here. It's so fun. It's very fun. It also had a hard time because of the really, really hot temperatures, so I had a hard time keeping up with it. It loved the sun, but it was extremely hot. So some of the leaves have browned. But I love this foliage. I love the purple of the viney, you know, of the veins of the leaves. I just love this tremendous color. I can't wait to do it again next year. In this fall, actually. So we'll move around my strawberry vanilla. We'll come around here. And there's the dog's bed. It's kind of a little magical down there. My daughter picked out another, not my daughter, my granddaughter picked out another type of a mint. And I can't remember what type that one is. Got bugs crawling on me here. Sorry, guys. And then we have a fern that's growing underneath there. Very pretty. Piper likes that shade. And here we have another tunia up here, and I have some grass that's growing in here. Just love this pot. You can't even see the pot. That's how pretty it is. Let me get a little closer. Maybe you can see the grass that's growing. Just beautiful. And this is not a green grass. This grass stays brown. Very pretty pot though. You can't even see it. That is actually just 2 small plants that I put in there. Here we have another of one of my hydrangeas that I just bought this year. Oh, there's Piper. She wants to be in the video. She's hot. This one is supposed to be an ever-blooming, I want to say, Seaside Hosta Hydrangea. It's new this year, and it does have a few little buds that are coming up. It's just taking a little bit, but it's got beautiful, beautiful foliage. And the stems are really supported. Nice and firm. And that little ground squirrel has gotten in here too. It's dug out. Look at. So I do have some liquid fence I'm going to spray just to keep them out. And here's my sectional here. And then I bought another hydrangea. This one I also put in a pot. I love these. These, I can't get enough of hydrangeas. If I see them, I want to rescue them and buy them all. So you know, you guys, I have a thing for those. So look at, I have this one, that one there, and then my huge one there. That will probably start blooming in July. And I have a Coleus here. Look at there. Look at the beautiful coloring. Now, I feel like if you get proven winners, they have a different name, and if you get them at like a local gardener and they just have whatever the gardener sells, they'll have a totally different name than a proven winner. This one was called a Sunburst. Believe me, it looks like a rust of some kind, but it's got beautiful coloring. Just look at that. Beautiful. And it's starting to bloom. Just love it. And I know you guys can hear my fountain. Love it, right? So now, this year, I put 2 of these spiral trees next to my garage, trying something different. You know, last year I had my, what is it? My firelight hydrangeas, and those are in the bigger garden. But this time I had put these 2 trees. Now, these will not withstand the winter here, or will they withstand being in the garage. So I will have to bring these in. And these have put on a ton of new growth since I bought them. A ton. This was very tiny when I got it. And the pots that they're in are 2 different sizes, but they almost look like they're the same size because I had just put more dirt in one pot. And I didn't pot them in the pots because I'm bringing them in. Okay, we're going to take a look. Piper is by the gate there, and I'll take you outside of the yard. Okay, you guys, so outside of my garage, I have 2 of these little spruces, and they're in pots, and these flank my garage. So if I back up, you can see the one, and you can see the other. Try to get them both into the shot. Okay, so in this pot, I love this, you guys, of my little spruce. And this is its first year. I have sweet potato vine. I have a red cabbage. Love this foliage. And you guys, I just treat it for bugs. And then I have Super Tunia Vista bubblegum. Great show going on there. And it rained until into the morning today, so they haven't had a chance to bounce up and, you know, do a great show. They were so beautiful and big yesterday, but with the rain, you know, it kind of drops them down, and we haven't only had sun half of the day. So it's actually looking great. My sweet potato vine is growing like crazy. I put 1 on each side. And let's look at the other one. Now this side only has one sweet potato vine, choppy, and one super tuya Vista bubble gum. And then it only has one of the red cabbages. Now, both of these will have to go into the garage because they won't winterize. This is a zone 4 in Minnesota. We won't winterize in pots outside. We'll have to go into the garage. It will be fine. And everything that is in pots will have to go into the garage except for these spiral trees flanking the garage. They will have to go into the house. Now on the outside here is another strawberry vanilla hydrangea. This one I got the same year I got the other one, and this is the one I put in the ground. It's not as tall, but remember the other one's in a pot, so that makes the other one quite big. But this one is already, I want to say, 4 feet wide. And it's doing great. Oh, I can't wait for the show of the strawberry vanillas. I did plant a sedum right here, but I have a little ground squirrel and he's trying to make his home in there. Bratty little thing. But I'm so excited. So that will be nice once that sedum starts creeping over the ground there. Very pretty. Okay, let's walk over. Then I also have, this is my dogwood hedge from this side. There you go. And I have lights. But it is thinning out here because it used to be straight across, and you can see the thinning out. You can see in here. Now, as you know, we all try to add as many perennials as possible. So I've moved things around. Last year I did have 2 little spruces. I left them out in pots, and one burnt, the whole thing. It just died. And the other one, we'll see it. It has a green spot left, and I haven't cut back the dead part yet just because I was waiting for the temps to go down. But I do have some new perennials. So I have some allium here, and it's just coming in. I should say it's just blooming. So those will be those purple little bulbs. Or I should say balls, not bulbs, balls. And it will be just adorable. I love that grassy foliage that it has. And I have one on each side. I have one over there also. There's another Patriot Hosta. And there's my hose. So sorry, you know, with this heat, you have to water constantly. So it's no even use of putting my hose away. And there I have, I believe that is my, is that my purple hydrangea? I believe that's what that is. It is also, or is that pink? That is my purple. We are getting some blooms on here. And then back here is my firelight. Because I wanted this to be a big show of hydrangeas. And it's kind of hard to tell because my dogwood is close. But this will be a beautiful show. And I'm also going to show you guys my July garden tour just so you can see everything else in bloom. Here are my lilies. Last year, I think when I did my video, my lilies weren't even in bloom. They are gorgeous today. Gorgeous. Look at my beautiful hosta. Oh, I love it. Some of these things are 3rd year. My lilies, this hosta, my incredible hydrangea. These are 3rd year now. These are well established. There's some more of that sedum I planted underneath that Big Daddy hosta. Oh, I love that sedum. I love that tight little adorable foliage and that softness of it, and that it will come back. Like I said, I love doing perennials. So that sedum is new. My allium is new. And there again, my Super Tuya Vista bubblegums are lining my flower bed here. Okay, so this is my Salvia, and this already had a bloom this year, but this is back to the fuchsia. So these will come back. They're already starting. It takes a little bit, you know. I cut them back maybe a week and a half ago, so it's going to take a little bit. So there's another bunch. So it will be a drift. And actually, the Supertunia Vista bubblegum's kind of taken over, but there's one there, a couple there, and then one there. And actually, there's one over here next to my lamb's ear that I have. Oh, right there. They kind of, this lamb's ear got a little bigger than I expected. So there will be a drift of them. Kind of will go like this. And there again is my allium. This side doesn't get as much sun, but it's just starting to come in bloom, and those will be purple. Like I said, I love the foliage. And the good thing about allium, it has that oniony, because it's a cousin of the onion, so it will have that onion smell that will keep rabbits away. Again, here's my Firelight Hydrangea. This is the one on the other side. Pretty soon we will be getting some beautiful blooms. Now, the rabbits had a field day with my heuchera. Look at this. Look at that. 2 heuchera corbels that are just now coming back. They've bitten them down 3 times, or they chewed them down 3 times. And I couldn't find any cages left, so I finally did some invisible fencing, the deer and rabbit spray. And finally I'm getting some. I don't know if that one's going to come, but we'll see. So we're missing 2 plants right there. We're getting to the end of the season for planting at some of these outside garden places. So I picked up an autumn fern. And autumn ferns, like dappled light, and they get brown and rust, deep colors. And it's already got some colors on there. It's doing great. I planted it 2 weeks ago and it's doing just marvelous. Another little Patriot Hosta in there. Here is my stepping stones. And there again, look, there's that boxwood. So it's got one part that's alive there, and I'm just limping it along. That part is thriving, but I do need to cut all that dead off. I just haven't had the heart to do it yet because it's been so hot. There is another one of my hydrangeas there. That is a pink one. And last year I only got one, showy bulb on that last year because I cut it down so hard. Forgot that this one is old wood. So it's coming this year that I'm going to get a few more. I'm going to get a lot more, actually. And if I back up a little bit, there is my lemon tree. And it's got lemons galore. I don't know if you can see them all. There's a couple in there. Getting some. It did struggle a little bit. Got a little chlorosis. But I'm treating it, and it doesn't just fix it in 5 minutes, like in a week it doesn't get fixed. It takes a little bit. It takes almost all season. So by the time I bring it in, it will be happy again. But it's doing great because I've got beautiful lemons coming in. And I've added a box, a window box, a standing window box. Put this together myself. So in here we have, again, my favorite, Supertunia Vista bubblegums. Some Coleus. Look at how pretty. Gorgeous Coleus. Again, some more red cabbage. And some ivy. If I can pull that down for you guys. And there's some ivy in there. Now this doesn't get full sun all day, but it does get great morning sun. So when I look out here and I see this, I could deadhead those Coleus. I just haven't yet, but I love this window box. Love it. Oh, I think it's just glorious. So there's 2 red cabbages, and those probably won't get too big, but I like the foliage. And there is little ivy tucked in there. And I gotta back up fine. And then if Make sure I don't step on anything here. This is another Dogwood Hedge. I want to back up so you can see. Ooh, sorry guys. So you can see the full dogwood. So that's a pretty big one, and I've already cut it down. It was ridiculously crazy overgrown. But you know what? When things are in pots, you guys, I move them constantly. So the Firelight Hydrangea that's back there and the one that's in front, I very well can move them, but they're taller plants and I don't want them in the front, obscuring the other plants so you can't see. So that is my front garden. And I will give you a July tour so you can see everything in full bloom, because it will all be in full bloom by then. And I have my little stepping stones on this side. And then I didn't plant anything in this yet because this is my light that shines on this stuff at nighttime. So I wanted to show you guys one more thing. And I just wanted to show you guys that I know the grass is looking really funky, but it will green up. It's getting better. And I will show you what that berm will look like with all those plants planted in there. And what I really want to do to the side, after I move my Russian sage, I want to put 1, 2, 3. I want to put either standard lilac trees in pots, or I want to do some type of spruces in pots. But I'm going to have 3 in this area right here. And I believe I'm going to move my Russian sage probably over in this berm. And you guys know what a berm is. It's like an elevated area that you have to put down. You have to put down dirt and clays and mulches and topsoil because you want that rich soil so everything can grow. And that's going to be in this area here. So I might just do that 9 bark over there. Let me get my finger out of there so everything can focus. And then move my Russian sage over with that. And maybe even move that sedum so they're all in that area. So I can put those 3 trees in pots. And you guys remember last year I had a rose tree and a rose bush? Oh, sorry. So when I put them in the garage, I totally forgot to water them. I watered everything else that was in pots. Like my tree there and everything else that I have in pots. I watered 4 things that were in pots in my garage. Totally forgot. My fault. So there you go. You know, I don't have them. It's my fault. So now I want something else. But you do waste money, you know. So, but that's just the way it goes. So until the next time, you guys, this is my garden. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll just take another glance through. And we'll say goodbye with Choppy sitting on the patio. Oh, he wants to go in. Okay, you guys. Until the next time, I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Deep end, we're alive, living life underwater. Let's spend all we've got getting buzzed. You pretend you're a god, I believe I'm a soldier. We play hide and seek till you draw. Love ain't got nothing on me, bad boy.